Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, continuing Jupiter's route, obviously. Anyway, and I have no idea who we are right now because, you know, I feel like I don't think it's Alan, but like, is it? Why would Claris be being evil in this route? I don't know. And why would Minerva be in hell? So anyway, someone is saying, a little more, just a little more. Just hold tight. I don't know. Maybe it was Alan. Just a little more. Hold tight. Like, maybe because he's like thinking, maybe it's more like, you'll be free soon. I don't know. Well, we could have, okay, a sensitive parasite. We could have absolutely recorded that last bit in the last part, but we were over anyway, weren't we? Anyway, the next day. Oh, welcome back. Good job with the Parasite 5 or Parasite 6 or whatever it is now. It was really amazing. Thank you. Sorry for leaving you with so much work. Don't worry about it. You're the one that had to deal with all those crazies. Speaking of which, what's that on your back? I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Peter had basically planted himself directly behind me. My Cupid's bow effect had faded, but now he had a different reason for not leaving me alone. There's danger here too. Where can we go? Is this sensitive parasite back at it again? If anything, it seems like he's getting even worse. Yeah, he's been like this since yesterday. I have no idea why. Whenever I ask, he just says, "We're in danger!" Oh yeah? Maybe there's a hurricane on the way. Yeah! You think it's trying to cause a storm? What? Hey, Peter! He ran off. He's earned his sensitive nickname, that's for sure. I'm surprised she can date someone like that. Maybe the most successful Cupid in history has her own unique interests. Yeah, okay, I like a train wreck. I'm here for this shit. Why do you think we're playing this game? I'm here for all the train wrecks. Line them up. A few days later, Peter was still acting terrified. There's danger waiting for us underground. We shouldn't use the subway today. Oh no, we're in danger again. We have to go home. Panicked Peter. He was quickly becoming the sensitive parasite more than ever before. No, now he's the paranoid parasite. But I had to admit that we were in fact avoiding danger. Looking at my phone, I saw an article about a fire in the subway. There had been a fire on the subway line we always use that Peter said we should avoid. And a few days ago, right after we got back from the Happy Forest Cafe, there actually was a terrible storm. There were even huge chunks of hail coming down. I was actually happy we left earlier than we'd planned. I like having danger-sensing parasite. I don't know, it sounds great. Wait, him being the parasite, not like actually having a parasite where you're like, I have a parasite in my intestines, but I can sense danger now. That seems a little weird, but still. Look out! What? Suddenly, Peter leapt at me and knocked me to the ground. I fell into a garbage can, spilling papers all over the sidewalk. Apparently, the danger that time was that the person standing next to me was about to get some dirt on me. Okay, so he's imperfect, but it's fine. Listen, Peter, I know you have a nose for danger, and that's great, but haven't you been a little too sensitive lately? I mentioned that as we entered the workshop suite where we were alone. Peter looked down, slightly ashamed. Whimpers. I'm really sorry, but we honestly are in serious danger. What kind of danger? I refuse to tell you. I don't have to answer that. I like when he gets this, like, pensive, angry face, because he's kind of like, this is, like, such a kind of, like, angry face, but he's not angry, but it's just like, wow, you kind of like a bitch face going on here. Like, I don't even know, but I like it. He just stood there in silence as if he didn't want to answer. Something even more powerful than the DC is after us. I know that much. More powerful than the DC? That's definitely a problem. Then wouldn't we be better off heading back to Celestia? You're not safe there either. Actually, Minerva has been after you. Lady Minerva? Indeed, it looks like she wants your Cupid's bow for herself, but I haven't felt her presence lately. After looking around, Peter lost himself in thought. Did she find out that he betrayed her and that's why she's being more cautious? I hope she's given up, but... Sorry, give me a little time to find out if Celestia is actually safe now. Yeah, of course, but Aunt Minerva is after my bow? Are you sure? I haven't seen her for so long. Your bow always finds its target, right? I heard she's been working behind the scenes to get you to lose ownership of it. In fact, I heard that directly from someone who's been working with her, so I have no doubt that it's true. What? I didn't know it was even possible to lose ownership of my bow. I was surprised too. I'm not sure how it would actually happen, though. Peter cleared his throat and looked away. He did know, I was sure of it. Peter knows so much about so many things. Is he really just a divine beast? Well, and here's the thing, you have to fall in love with a human. But Peter's not a human, so Back in Celestia, Dad's divine beast only ever brought me messages. Either way, I'm here to protect you, so please just trust me. Peter, the look he gave me was undeniably genuine. Okay, I understand. I was so overwhelmed, all I could do was nod. Just then, the door opened. I kind of wish, because, I know he wears his hair over his eye, but we've looked into his eyes, plural, before. So I really wish she had noticed the heterochromia or, mentioned it, you know what I mean? And, oh, wow, Peter, your eyes are two different colors. Maybe it's just because, you write the game, but you're not writing, you don't have the sprite, you don't know what the character looks like, you know what I mean? Where it's I looked into his beautiful blue eyes, and you're like, the character's eyes are brown? What the fuck? You know what I mean? That would be really disjointed. But I kind of almost wish she noticed so that later, because, Jupiter always wears a mask, so he's always got one eye kind of covered, and then later she's like, oh! She's in front of Jupiter, and she's like, he reminds me of someone. That's, the clue. That's the slap in the face for her. Because I just have a feeling she's gonna, see Jupiter and not realize for some fucking reason. I don't know why they're gonna play her stupid like that. But anyway. The day's workshop group all came filing in. Oh, hi. The Parasite 5, a workshop specifically for our most troublesome members. We needed to focus on serious marriage hunting exercises. I'm pretty sure at the end of Parasite House or whatever, they were both all like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to bother. So why are we still doing this? Because we still have 7 chapters left, maybe? I'm not sure where we are anymore, but... Since I had been part of the Parasite 6 show as well, I was still in charge of all of them. Also, all the other Cupid Core advisors had given up on them, so I was the only one left willing to try. My Cupid nature made me feel a bit of pity for them. I hated the thought of even people like them being completely abandoned. We're not going to abandon them, except for Gil, but we didn't even fully abandon Shelby. We've only 25% abandoned Shelby, okay? It's just because Shelby, I forget that you exist, and it's not your fault, okay? Again. It's not, it's just, there is Shelby's a little bit of a train wreck. In a normal game, you'd be like, he's the train wreck. He's the problematic character, but just by accident, not wow, what the fuck? It's just wow, really? You're a little troublesome. But in this game, for some reason, it's you're pretty fucking basic. I can't get over how basic and boring Shelby is in this game. Oh, poor Shelby. At least if you had driven a robot car that punched my dad, it would have been something. But no, they gave that to Gil, which makes sense. But anyway. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you could all make it. Of course, I'd walk through a hurricane if it was you who asked me to. Right over her head. And I don't want to disappoint our clients, of course. So, what's in store for us today? We have a a guest speaker, a professor of romantic psychology. She'll show you how to evaluate each of your romantic approaches. Interesting. That sounds quite pragmatic. Pragmatic, from the word pragma. I suddenly remembered the concept of love-style typology, which I learned about in college. Come to think of it, Mr. Snail's love type definitely seems like pragma. What about the others? What the hell was that? Oh, was that my trash? Reminder? Okay, I gotta move. Hold on. Edit. Alright, well, yeah, cancel. I just gotta remember, otherwise I'm not gonna put my trash out, and I'm gonna be tomorrow morning, they're gonna come and be like, fuck! Anyway. I'll try to remember to do it after this, but I'm gonna, 50 minutes, I'm gonna fucking forget. Anyway. As I looked at each of them, I realized that their parasite natures fit perfectly with the different love types. Gil, the lovelorn parasite, he's so dedicated he matches the nature of agape. Mr. Snail, the prestige parasite, he's rational and dedicated to his work. Definitely pragma. Ryuki, the glamour parasite, strict about beauty, ignores anyone not attractive enough. That sounds like Eros to me. Raoul, the obsessed parasite, he's so enthusiastic about his hobby, he seems like mania at first, but... Out of nowhere, I was struck with the sense that he must be Ludus. It tilted my head. I recognized that instinctive reading. It was a lot like when I used my Cupid's bow to check a couple's compatibility. Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I just had a strange feeling. What kind of feeling? Did you sense some kind of danger? No, nothing like that. It's just, Raoul seems like he should be Mania, but somehow I suddenly realized he was Ludus. I wonder why. Meanwhile, Professor Melville seems like Ludus on the surface, but he's actually more like Mania. I like how they're both he seems, and that's exactly what they did, Alan seems like the whore character, but he's actually not. And, Raoul seems like innocent and whatever, but he's the hoe. Peter had an odd look on his face. It was like a combination of surprise and admiration. He's like, "You're ready to become Juno! If only I could figure out how to make her disappear." He smiled softly at me. I see. So you've gained the ability to see the shape of love. Shape of love? There are 6 love shapes in this world. You can now see all that on your own. That's wonderful. It's good for the human realm and also good for Celestia. Huh? I realized that I'd seen Peter make that same expression before. It was his eyes that struck me. I was sure I'd seen them at some point in Celestia. That one eye, just something in that eye. Because you never see his other one, because Peter's got the hair over it, and Jupiter's got the... Oh! Girl, did she put it together? Oh, I'm thinking of Lord Jupiter. That gentle vibe and just the way he talked definitely reminded me of Lord Jupiter. I thought she finally put it together, but she's like, totally reminds me. Girl, is it because he's actually Lord Jupiter's divine beast? Maybe they've been together so long, some of Lord Jupiter rubbed off on him. Well, they do say people start to look like their pets and shit like that, right? I really hope she went there and was like, they say people look like their pets. Just blows it off. Oh, yeah. You had described your love as fraternal. In other words, Storg. So just with the people in this room, the love style typology is complete. A very astute observation. So you've completely understood the shape of love, which means you're ready to become Juno. Let's go. She turns into frickin'. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Anyway, let's get started. As Miss Tyner burst into the room, I was suddenly reminded that I was at work. Okay, everyone, make sure you pay close attention. Miss Tyner is an expert on the topic of love. Is she? Okay. She's even published multiple books and articles. I don't know. I kind of felt like some of her things in the very, the common route were kind of questionable. I'm not saying she was downright wrong on everything, but it was I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But what do I know? I'm not a love expert, so okay. She'll show us how to use romantic psychology in order to get closer to the person you're interested in. Hashtag 8B968D. Oh, fucking A, Ryuki! Didn't we already do that? I'm sure we did this one already, but everybody whip out your phones and pull up your hex code because we have to know. I'm sure he already said this to Miss Tyner when she was here. Wasn't it like a gray color? I'm looking to see if it was already in my thing. Okay, let's see. 8B 968D. Oh, yep. I think we already did because I've got it in there. Oh, no, it was like, it's a nice, it's like a sagey green color. It's not ugly. It's just, not vibrant, but it's a nice color. Yeah, I feel like we did because I was like, actually, it used to be one of my favorite colors. Like a, not lilac, but like almost like a grayed down kind of purple. It was like lighter, but it had the same tone to it that this sage kind of green has. Those are my, like, favorite fucking colors back in the day. Like, oh my god, and when I get married, those are going to be my colors. They were not my colors when I got married, by the way. But anyway, like, and obviously I'm divorced. But, hi, lesson in Spacey if you didn't know this shit already. But, like, I love those. And I actually have 2 candles and, like, candle holders that are those colors. And it's like, even though I'm like, I mean, I could probably get rid of these. Like, nah, because I remember these used to be my favorite colors, man. I still like them, don't get me wrong, but they're not like... I prefer like a richer purple now. Like a rich, deep purple, like vibrant, like the rich blue and like a nice hunter green. Like those were also colors of my childhood. Like the very like rich, deep colors. Man, I can picture Converse sneakers I had back in the day that were like kind of patchwork and that were like hunter green and like maroon and like a plummy purple and like... that like not navy but not like electric blue, like a very deep blue, and like those were the colors of the day, man, because I remember being like, I have the plum backpack. Everybody had JanSport backpacks. That was the thing, you had to have one. And then like the next year I had a hunter green one, and then obviously then it was like, and I had black, and then we sewed patches on them. I was doing Ita bags before I even knew what the fuck they were, because you always had your keychains and your patches and shit that you like sewed on. And, like, all your pins, and you put, like, your cool pins on your bag, but you had to sew them on because otherwise they would fall off. But, like, I always did that shit, okay? That was, like, you just did that shit. So now I'm like, Ita bags are perfect because that is, like, my childhood, but, like, in a way better way to keep it safe and now in a nerdy weeb way. But, like, whatever. It's the same difference. Anyway, that green is not an ugly color green. I like it. So, Ryuki, what is wrong with you? All colors are beautiful. Okay, like 98% of them. There is a small percentage where you're like, ew, but somebody likes it. Huh, that's grayish blue, I guess? It's a green. Get it fucking straight. That's a pet peeve when people are like, look at this purple. That is like pink. Fuck you, it's not purple. Look at this blue color. That is green. It bothers me. It's different when people call it gray and you're like, well, it's a gray blue, so it could be really either. You know what I mean? But when that is a green color, unless my screen on my phone is really off, that's like a sagey green. That is not grayish blue. Gray green? Sure. Not gray blue. Oh! Tweaking me out. It seems pretty dull, to be honest. It is a dull color, but it's still nice. I looked up the color Ryuki mentioned on my phone. Apparently, he was still as picky as ever. That's Eros for you. I do wish that they showed you the color when he did it, instead of making you look it up, that they, like, popped a little swatch up on screen as if she looked it up on her phone. For us. That would have been nice. But this was a fun, interactive moment that we had as a group, so. Hey, Mr. Snail is lost in work again. And Raoul's reading a complete mythological encyclopedia. And he looks so excited about it. I love him. I just want to pat him on the head. And Professor Melville's on the phone getting yelled at again. Of course he is. As usual, the Parasite 5 couldn't care less about their education and love, except for Gil. I'm sure he's taking copious notes. Everyone, listen up! If you're serious about getting married, you need to pay attention to her. Do you hear me? Of course, she has my undivided attention. Really? Put your laptop away! Then could you send those emails later? What about that little distraction under the table? Are you going to let him off the hook? Cheat! Peter, get out from under there! When you said the distraction under the table, you knew. The Parasite 5, or Parasite 6 now, always made it feel like pulling teeth to get through a lecture. Eventually, the presentation came to a close without anyone learning anything. I just love that. Again, I've said it 500 times, but I love that fucking Peter/Jupiter is like a goddamn coward. Because he senses danger, so of course he's like on edge, but I just fucking love it. It's adorable. Because like him doing it as Peter is like one thing, but then you're just imagining in your head Jupiter, who just looks very like, hi, I'm Jupiter. And then you're like, ah! And then he's scared. I don't know. Something about that's funnier to me. Home at last. Once I got home, I let out a big sigh and fell down onto my bed. Yes, thank you. Someone reminded me to put out the trash. Thank you. You're going to have to remind me later, though. I can't believe we didn't make any progress again today. The Parasite 5 are such a pain. After the presentation, I tried to recommend some new girls to the 5 troublesome clients, but... Can't wait for this. She's not you. Sorry, she's just not the girl I'm looking for. Basically, what I just said. Mr. Snell had an urgent meeting, so I had to go, but he wanted me to inform you that he'd be rejecting all your suggestions. What? But he hasn't even seen them yet. Hi! What you doing down there? I met her at a Mythological Society meeting, but she got so mad at me she stood right up and slapped me. Guess we're not compatible. She slapped you. Look at poor Raoul's face there. He's like, she slapped me. Aww. Hashtag 403D4D. God damn it, Ryuki! Stop it with this, because then we have to look it up. Do we have time for this? I guess we do. Alright, guys. I don't know if we looked this one up. 403D4. It's really annoying to do this because I'm doing it on my phone, so like my... hello?! Like, okay, that color is like a dark, like gray down kind of purple. If that was a little bit lighter, that's like the color I used to love with that sage green color. I'm just saying! And like a little bit more of a rich color as opposed to gray, like that's a little flat, like slightly richer, and that was like one of the colors of my childhood. Like, I'm just saying, what the fuck, game? I feel like now Google is listening to me and put this in the game, and that's not the normal line. It's specifically targeted to me. I'm kidding, obviously, but like, that was trippy. Anyway. Weird. That's a pretty color. So I'd be happy to be that color.
I'd be happy to meet with anyone you want. As long as they're in love with someone else, of course. Like you.
Licks me. What? And so, of course, I wasn't able to match any of them up. Come on! My internship is almost over! It was hard to imagine any of the Parasite 5 finding a serious relationship before I left, or ever unless it's with us. Parasite harem, but we didn't get Peter in that one, but... If anything, I felt like their parasite natures were getting stronger by the day. If I were human, I'd definitely join the company full-time to keep on trying to help them. But sadly, I'm just here to study. Once I graduate from college, I have to head back to Celestia. Graduation. The fact was, once my internship was over, I wouldn't even have time to graduate properly. This whole situation makes me sad. Before anything else, I'm a god. And if I want to help all humans find happiness, I need to observe their love as a god. So I really don't want to abandon anyone in the Parasite 5. If they truly desire it, I have to help them find the happiness that comes from having someone to share your joy with. That's my duty as the goddess of love. My pants have such a giant hole in the thigh that, like, ugh. I really need to get rid of them, but I don't want to. But, like... Anyway. I see. So Minerva figured it out, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like she's going to give up this time and focused on the next Cupid instead.
And then at least she'll be safe from Minerva. Now I just have to focus on making sure she can become Juno. But it seems like it'll take a little longer to break Juno's seal. I've got Mars working hard on that, but... If there's no threat in Celestia anymore, I guess there's no reason we can't go home. I can feel him down here in the human realm more and more every day. Who's him? Where could he be hiding? He's done such a good job of hiding himself. Well, my investigation hasn't turned up anything. It's been like this for so long. Maybe I'm just not fit to be the god of gods. Your brother that you keep talking about? He keeps talking about, not like my brother! But if she can become Juno, even then can I rely solely on that? Thinking about all this is just making me more depressed. I've existed for thousands of years, and here I am pinning my hopes on Cupid, who's only been alive for 4 centuries. I guess that's why I'm the sensitive parasite. If I could just face my fears and not run away for once. But my instincts just can't avoid those fears. The fear I felt when Cronus nearly swallowed me up, the despair when I faced him, those feelings rose up in me again and again.
So anyway, no one's trying to make her fall in love with a human anymore. When will she be able to become Juno?
Very soon, I think. Don't worry, she won't disappear on my watch. Plus, I'm still thinking about the best way to do it, but I think I've figured out how she can get her powers back.
Really?
Really. It looks like Cupid can regain energy by using her leaden arrows. But God shouldn't go around ending relationships unnecessarily, so I've been thinking about what I can do. Don't use the leaden arrow on you.
If that's the case, I think I have an idea. Let me know the next time you two have a day off.
Chi? Chi? Eh? A few days later, I found myself at Pillow Luxuria on 9th Ave. Peter and Professor Melville had asked me to come. It was so strange how I couldn't stop myself from calling him Professor. Yes, okay, thank you, Creative Cloud, for popping up an update. Go away. Boop, go away, thank you. Alright. So, can I ask what this is all about? There were lots of women in the store. Professor Melville was moving from one to another, helping them each in turn. Meanwhile, I was peeking out from behind the counter along with Peter. Alan runs this pillow store, but he also advises his clientele about love. These women are just a few of his many clients. Apparently, most of the women are here because they can't dump their boyfriends, even though they're all terrible. That's where you come in. You can banish their love, right? With your leaden arrows, I mean. Huh? Well, yeah, I can do that, but the whole situation felt way too convenient to me. Does Professor Melville know that I'm Cupid or something? Oh, that's right. You don't know, do you? He's actually an incubus, a demon, and recently we've joined forces for a common cause. What? Professor Melville? An incubus? Oh, that explains a lot. I feel like that's where she should go. Of course, I'd heard plenty about them in Professor Giordano's mythology class. I knew all about what incubi, dream demons, got up to. Wait, don't tell me he was responsible for that crazy dream I had the night of the Parasite 6 rap party. And why would a divine beast be working with a demon? It was all just too much new information at once for me to handle. As I stood there stunned, I heard someone start sobbing. I'm finished with him. I can't believe there was another woman, but I just can't dump him. I love him. Girl, get a spine. You don't need Cupid. I know how you feel. I can't bring myself to leave my man, even though he's cheating on me. He's just the worst. But I'd rather be with an asshole than alone. It's okay to be alone, girl. You can start a man-hater club, okay? Man-bashing coalition. It's like the Shiraishi bashing coalition, except for just general men and not Shiraishi, because he's not in this game, so. Wow, he's right. They're all suffering for their love. Seeing all these tearful women, I was suddenly moved by my dedication to my duty. Cupid's also responsible for saving people like these from the pains of love. Okay, I'll take care of this. I took out my bow and arrow and took careful aim. Ha! Crash! I was right. Cupid is regaining her energy. I like how Peter talks out loud. Huh? I turned at Peter's odd statement and he was looking at the woman I'd shot with great interest. What did he mean by that? What does he know that he's not telling me? I feel like now would be the time to tell her. I'm finding it harder and harder to believe he's just some normal divine beast. Despite my doubts, I continue to fire off my leaden arrows. I spent the rest of my time at Pillow Luxuria breaking off one customer relationship after another. Later, Peter and I had dinner together in the city and then walked home. We invited Professor Melville to join us, but he said that an incubus has no need to eat. Phew, that was delicious. Yeah, it sure was. Peter had been acting distracted all day. His last reply was like that too, and even when we were eating, he didn't seem to have anything to say. Peter? What's wrong? That's what I want to ask. You've been lost in thought all night. What's going on? And earlier you said Cupid was regaining her energy. What did you mean by that? Well... And something else has been bothering me. Sometimes I feel like you're not a divine beast at all, but an actual god. Okay. And then she also had that like, wow, he reminds me of Jupiter. Whatevs, not Jupiter at all. But okay. He's like, shit. Peter suddenly froze as if I'd guessed right. He quickly drew in on himself. It felt like he was getting ready to lie to me. What are you talking about? Of course I'm a divine beast. I even have my chi form, remember? I mean... Oh, I was like, what is that? It's AC. But you're nothing like Dad's divine beast. Well, yeah, I'm better. Well, of course not. When I'm chi, I have to use my energy to focus on all kinds of different things, and... Just then, Peter's head whipped up. His face became more and more frightened. No, it can't be. Why am I feeling him this strongly? Who? Huh? What is it now? There's danger. We're in grave danger right now. He looks like, but it's funny because his eyes like, he's like, this is not a scared face. It's like a, seriously, Mom, it will not clean my room. I'm an adult. Just think about that face. Another freak out? Come on. Quiet, please. Suddenly, Peter grabbed my hand and pulled me into a dark alley. Oh, hi, new CG, welcome. Then he embraced me tightly, protecting me with his entire body. Look at it. We finally actually get to see Peter's face this time because Lord knows we never get to do that because they always like face block us. But anyway. His golden eyes shone brighter than I'd ever seen before. Well, except for the fact that one of them is blue, so. They darted all around looking for something. What on earth? Just then I felt a creepy sensation on my back, as if it were being stroked by a cold hand. I didn't expect it could affect us like this, but it's still not complete. We have to go before it finds us. Peter's breath quickened and he gripped me even tighter. What finds us, though? Something moved like a snake in the shadows, and a bizarrely warm wind struck my cheeks. Ow, foot cramp. I was no sensitive parasite, but at that point even I realized we were in real danger. What is this? It's the aura of someone who truly hates the gods. And it's after the both of us. Okay, but I thought that was... Okay, so it's not... But Alan truly hates the gods, so... Huh. Is it a demon? But it's like a new one? So, someone who hates the gods. You mean like a demon? No, this is no demon. Oh, well, I suppose at this point maybe it's become one. Huh. Who could he be talking about? I wanted to ask, but I was too scared to even raise my head. That horrible feeling spread through my body, and I desperately clung to Peter. Why was I so scared at that moment? Who could possibly be having that kind of effect on me? Yeah, I want to know too. I could feel their intense hatred for all the gods, and their murderous intent. That's why gods don't come down to the realm of humans. There's a god hunter! I'm so scared. I'd never felt such hostility toward me before. There was no doubt that it wanted both me and Peter dead. The only thing keeping me sane was the warmth of Peter's body. Cupid, I'm going to keep you safe. And don't be afraid. I trust you. He hugged me tighter and did his best to smile and make me feel at ease. He was certainly just as afraid as I was. I could feel him trembling against me. But he was certainly just as afraid as I was. Okay, sorry. But the body protecting me was so large and so warm. We just stood like that for a while until eventually that horrible sensation began to fade. It's gone. So that was the danger we've been running away from all this time? That's right. Actually, it's been after me for years. And every time it shows up, I've just run away. And because I can't fight it, I have no way to beat it. Are you sure about that? It's like a ghost, a lingering feeling with a dark consciousness. As long as it can't find us, we'll be fine. Anyway, let's hurry up and get home. I put a barrier up there so it definitely won't find us there, unless it follows you. Peter took my hand and we started walking. He's the sensitive parasite, so I always assumed he was just exaggerating things. You know, he's sensitive for a reason. But it turns out that's what he was afraid of. Not just its presence, but the feelings it could put into you. That's the reason behind his sensitive nature. But what on earth could it actually be? Someone who hates gods, but that doesn't really answer my question. I was afraid to bring it up with Peter, so I just followed him in silence. Ah, the wind feels so nice. It's been so long since I've been out. This is whatever it is, so. But God, does this place stink. I have to get out of here. Juno! Oh, you're finally awake. Thank goodness. I was so worried about you. Juno, are you the one who saved me? That's right. I wanted to see you again so much, I betrayed them and broke your seal. Because you're everything to me. I want to go back to how things used to be. I want to... I guess you're gonna have to kill her. Is that so? Well, thank you, Juno. And farewell. No, I just wanted to... Didn't anyone ever tell you that possessive girls are never popular? I have no use for you, but thanks for breaking my seal, my precious goddess of marriage. You know, all I gotta say is, at least Raoul's a better man, because Minerva did everything to get him back, and he was like, whatevs. Actually, did he kill her too? He might have. Wow. Girls, note to yourselves. Fuck those men. Oh, you're sealed up. Whatever, bitch. Moving on. Finding a better man, because you're all gonna stab me. I'm just saying. You know what? For a game that is filled with problematic dumpster fires, none of them have tried to kill me. I mean, Raoul did, but it's really not his fault because he was possessed by Alexander the Great. So, like, you know, that doesn't really count. Now give me life. Become a conduit for my power and get me out of here. Ah, this isn't nearly enough. This minuscule god won't do it all. Demons, give me life. You're next, Jupiter. Your many forms can't deceive me. No, not my Jupiter. Is this guy gonna get, like... Is it gonna be like Jupiter's twin brother or some shit? Like, oh, wow, there's two of you. Hot. I don't know. Well, Juno's dead. Jupiter and the Stone's Identity. This is like a knockoff Harry Potter. Jupiter and the Stone's Identity. Like a lame, you know, like... Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, whichever. And this is like Jupiter and the Stone's Identity crisis thing with the Jupiter and the Rock. And now I'm picturing actually the Rock hanging out with Jupiter. Like, okay. We're going to need that in a buddy cop movie. Anyway, the next day, I went to work just like normal. It seems like things are fine today. For now. I glanced over at Peter, who was working some distance away. After we got home yesterday, he was so scared that he turned into Chi and slept with me the entire night. Oh, finally. But when he woke up, he said the feeling was gone and seemed to be relieved, so we headed to Cupid Core as usual. Oh, it's about that time. Well, okay, here's the thing. So she broke this demon's seal, right? But we can't break hers, but she disappeared? Well, she wasn't dead, but now she is, so... At least we know where she went. 20 years ago! She's been trying this for 20 years. Like, damn, girl. I mean, she's committed. But then again, hey! No! You don't scream like that! But then again, Minerva's far more dedicated, because she has been trying to get Alexander the Great since the time of Alexander the Great, and I'm not good with knowing timelines, so, a long-ass time. More than 400 years. I'm just saying. She's been... So... She's more dedicated. Oh, it's about that time. I I had another meeting scheduled with a Parasite 5 today. I wanted to see if anything at all had changed after yesterday's lecture, so I wanted to meet with them again. I can just hear the bird screaming downstairs. You can shriek and play with your toys, but don't you yell at me. I grabbed the reports I'd written up for each of them yesterday and headed for the meeting room. Now he's just screaming, but he's like blank screaming. But it's just like that annoying. You're like, oh God, stop. There I found the Parasite 5 waiting and chatting with a man I'd never seen before. Oh, does he get a Sprite? Come on. Will you, honestly though, I don't know if I want him to have one. You know what I mean? Because if he has a Sprite, he's going to be hot or some shit. Although his voice and looks were kind of androgynous, so I couldn't be sure. His wavy hair and strange eyes were oddly beautiful. His flashy outfit made me wonder if maybe there was a costume party going on somewhere in the building. Oh God, it's him. Oh, it is Jupiter's twin! It's definitely Jupiter's brother, and you know what's funny? Their eyes are the opposites. But, like, also, like... You know what's creepy? It's like if you took us and just slapped a Jupiter fucking filter on us. That's like when she's saying he's androgynous. Yes, because there's something about his nose and chin and mouth that looks like ours. It's a little too close to her. Okay, I'm okay with it. Like, I love the outfit, though. Like, that shit's amazing. But there's something wrong with the, like, almost like bob hair, but then he's got longer underneath. It's like a weird, like, the hair ruins it. It's not my favorite. There's something, honestly, it's so weird. Because you could be like, you are the best love interest, but your hair is ruining it for me. Seriously, the hair makes the man. Take any of your favorite love interests. You're like, yeah, and then just put the worst haircut on him. And you're like, no, I love you, but no. And unfortunately, he is beautiful, but like, the hair is ruining it for me. Which is weird because I'm not 100% sure that all the wing things going down around his shoulders, not the dark and the light, but I mean like the one that looks like a cape, is if that's a feather cape or part of his hair. But then he's also got the little sheet pieces in the front. So, like, if that's all your hair, there's too much going on. Is that like a veil that's pinned underneath? Because, again, otherwise, too many fucking things going on with your hair, but I'm just distracted by the almost bob. And the bob haircut, cute on ladies, does not look good on men. Not what I want. You know what I mean? It just always looks wrong. So, like, I'm gonna go with, like, you could have been pretty, but you're not gonna take me away from Jupiter. But, like, oh my God, it's his brother. Unless it's his dad, which would be kind of funny. Anyway. So anyway, I feel like his voice should be different then, but anyway. So anyway, the Ambrosia Burger at the place on Athens Avenue is really amazing, so... What? That's amazing! I've always wanted to try an Ambrosia Burger. Seriously? How did it taste? Delicious and sublime, naturally. If you're really interested, you simply have to try it for yourself someday. Although, now when he's standing there like this... Okay, like, I'm not a fan of your hair. But you're sexy. There's something about, like, the gloves and the fingernail and the other full glove, but then there's a half glove thing going on. Okay. I wish we could fix your hair. And, like... And there's still something off, even without the hair. Okay, but, like, the body we got going on, like, that whole... I'm down with that. That's sexy. We gotta fix the hair a little, though. Still not gonna take me away from Jupiter, but... I'm not sure how I'd even get there. Where in the world even is Athens Avenue? Are you all really so ignorant? Look it up for yourself, why don't you? Do I really have to tell you everything? I tried looking it up, but nothing came up. It just references to ancient Greece. So what, you can only eat when someone feeds you like some greedy pig? Use your brains before trying to blame me for it. I feel like him and Ryuki are very similar. Did he eat Ryuki? Oh no, there he is. I was like, did you eat Ryuki? Ryuki, what are you doing in there? Anyway. Sure, that's fine. But let me take a look at your outfit. How is everything connected? I don't see a single stitch. And how did you shape the bit around your hips? I don't know of any metal in the world that can curve like that. I love how Ryuki's like your outfit. Hold on. Okay, I think you two need to just go off in a corner and be gay together because I'm here for this. Hey, could you please stop staring? It's embarrassing, you know. They're basically the same character now. Wow, it seems like they're all really close. Is he a friend of theirs? Really? Because he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're all assholes. They don't seem really close. He seems like he's being a bitch. He was kind of flashy, but he could also carry on a conversation with the Parasite 5. It was a new experience for me.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were here. Okay, everyone, back to your seats.
And now Gil's the teacher? Thanks to Gil, everyone was soon seated. For some reason, even the new mystery man was sitting down. Thank you all for coming today. By the way, who's the new member? Huh? I assumed you invited him. You're like, no? No, this was supposed to be a meeting for the Parasite 5. I thought maybe he was a friend of yours.
No, I just met him.
Oh god, we're all gonna get stabbed. I'm sorry, guys, this is the one you die in! Me too. What? Is he not another client? Wait, really?
I know who he is. You're a god, right?
And this is where Alan's head explodes. I mean, Raoul's head explodes. I don't know why I always want to call Raoul Alan. Why? Is it because Alan's on the screen? I don't know. What? Like, he's like, As everyone focused their attention on him, the man just smiled. I mean, the outfit is amazing. Just as he began to open his mouth, the door swung open. It's Peter. Sorry I'm late. Here's everyone's Starbucks, black coffee latte, white mocha frappuccino, milk tea. Really? You didn't sense him? What? What are you doing here? You didn't sense him, Peter? What the fuck? I thought he was gonna... Zeus. So Zeus and Jupiter aren't the same person. Interesting. Okay. Because in all the things, Zeus and Jupiter are usually like the same person, right? Like Pluto and Hades, same person. But in this case, Zeus and Jupiter are two different people. Oh, okay. Nice. So I'm going to guess this is the brother when he's like him. And then like, I'm not my brother. Because then all the weird stories where people are like Zeus or like Jupiter. And he's like, no, we're different people. Stop it. Why does everyone assume just because we're twins, we're the same? And then he goes off and cries in a corner because he's a sensitive parasite. So anyway. Huh? Zeus! Raoul's so excited. Hello there, darling brother. I just wanted to see how my precious younger sibling was doing. And I like how now his thing is gold, like a darker yellow. What? Peter is Zeus's little brother? Does that mean you're actually Poseidon? Or maybe Hades? You've gone too far. You do realize that, don't you? I don't know what I'm doing with Zeus's voice all over the place right now. As Raoul stared at him like an adoring fan, the young man, apparently named Zeus, stood. Apparently named Zeus! Girl! This is like, if you were in this room and they were like, Zeus, and you're like, I guess his name is Zeus? What the hell's going on? She is Cupid, she should be like, Zeus? He's real? But Zeus and Jupiter were like the same name for the same... Wait, what? Does that mean Neptune and Poseidon are two different people? And they're like, actually, yes. He smiled, and in an instant, he disappeared. Right? Neptune and Poseidon are like the name of the same guy, right? One's Greek and Roman, right? Every once in a while, I get confused. Make say the wrong person. Huh? He disappeared? Where on earth did he... Just then, there was a crack of thunder and the sounds of sudden downpour. It was completely sunny up till now. Do they have the same powers? Chi. I just love Peter's face. He's just like, Chi. Says Chi so seriously. Peter? Peter was trembling. He was more frightened than ever, really, because he looks kind of pissed off. No, it isn't possible. He was actually able to show himself. I had no idea Zeus had regained so much power. Well, I wonder, because, like... Juno is the goddess of marriage, right? And everyone's like, oh, like, Peter and Juno are, like, married. And then, like, that explains she was like, no. Yeah, I get they're, like, twinsies or whatever, but I'm not into Jupiter. I'm into Zeus. And they're like, same thing. And she's like, no! Damn it!
Listen, our darling. You have to go back to Celestia right this instant.
Huh?
You're in incredible danger. You've been found by the one entity you never want to find you. So take your divine beast and head back to Celestia.
Do you understand me? Yeah, but my divine beast just ran away. His voice was deadly serious as he took me by the arms. I nodded at him, then followed after Peter. Good job, Alan.
He's like,
listen to me!
You're the other half of my soul. You need to get out of here.
Peter, where did you go? I thought he'd be under the desk or something, but I couldn't find him anywhere in the office. Not in the garbage can, not in any of the drawers. The garbage can! Not gonna lie, we're every single one of these characters belong, but we're also in the trash can with them, so. Huh? Is everything okay? You're awfully pale. Have you seen Peter? Are you expecting to find him in the garbage? Have you met the Parasite 5? She's like, right.
Oh, I just saw him leave. He was as pale as you are.
Thanks, I have to go find him.
Wait, you know it's pouring outside, right?
It's fine. She's already gone.
Yep.
I hope everything's okay with her.
I'm sure it's fine. She's a responsible girl. She'll find Peter and bring him back, I'm sure of it.
I don't know. I'm kind of worried. I feel like she's going to get spirited away or something. Yeah, actually. They're going to be like, Peter! As I shot out into the pouring rain, I saw Peter standing there, a look of desperation on his face. He was staring at the ground, and his body seemed to be vibrating with energy. I couldn't actually see anything, but I could tell that he was using his divine powers somehow. Damn it, it's too late. Even with my power, I can't hold it back. We have to run away. What? Peter suddenly lifted me up. Without warning, we started floating in the air. What? Peter can fly? Even without wings or without being in his chi form. Oh yeah, I can't wait till we get back and then you realize he's fucking Jupiter. In his human form, he carried us to the sky. Just then, the ground suddenly split apart. Oh no. What? He's powerful enough to produce physical phenomena? I can't believe it. Huh? Peter, wait a second! I'm sorry, there's no time. He's been revived. Just then I heard something whirring through the air. It just barely missed hitting Peter's shoulder. It was a razor-sharp rock. I was stunned at what I was seeing. What's going on? Rocks flew past us on all sides, clearly intent on knocking us out of the sky. No, we need to get back. They flew past so fast, I couldn't tell where they were coming from. But it was obvious that some invisible force was after us. If we stay here, he's sure to catch us sooner or later. We have to go back to Celestia. I agree. Peter looked up into the sky. I could feel my body being pulled up through the air. I'm very concerned. This is intense. What is this power? It was different from when I used my divine artifact, or when I used my wings to fly. It was a power emanating directly from Peter. We made our way up through the sky. I don't know of a single divine beast this powerful. Once again, I doubted whether or not Peter really was a divine beast. I mean, yeah, but also Jupiter. So I looked at him and recognized his shining golden eyes. It was what happened when someone like Dad used their divine powers. So I was right. Peter really was a god. Girl, clue in. Clue in. Remember when she was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that face on Jupiter. Oh, well. Okay, we should be safe here. We're back. Although I'd been gone for so long, my return to Celestia wasn't nearly as emotional as I'd expected. As I breathed hard, staring at nothing in particular, Peter released me and stood up. I'm really sorry, but there's something I have to do. I need to go. With that, he turned back into Chi. Chi! Chi! He's gone. I wanted to ask him what it was that was coming after us. Oh well, I'll just go see Mom and Dad. Maybe they can tell me what's going on. And then all of a sudden... You're serious? I knew. He's like, I gotta go, and he poofs away, and I'm like, if he shows up as fucking Jupiter, like, oh hey, what's up, Cupid? I'm not scared or anything. Like, seriously, this is the time where you tell me. Nope, he just poofed back in and pretending like he had no fucking idea what was going on. Cupid, you're back. Just then Lord Jupiter emerged from the shadows. You're like, I feel like at this point you should be like, okay, he's definitely Peter, but like, sure. Lord Jupiter! Wait, what? He was breathing heavily as if he'd just run here. And normally he was so put together, but now his hair was messy and his mask was at a weird angle. Lord Jupiter? Yes? What is it? Why do you sound just like Peter? Why are you out of breath? And shouldn't you be panicking about Zeus? I am! Ah, wait. His voice suddenly felt very familiar. In fact, he sounded exactly like the person that was just here a second ago. As I stared at him, Lord Jupiter turned away from me awkwardly. We need to talk. Come with me. Yeah. Okay, Peter. Without waiting for a response, he began to walk. I spoke to his back. Chi? Chi? He turned and let out that familiar noise. Immediately he froze. I knew it! Chi, you were Lord Jupiter all along! I love this moment! Oh, well, I never would have done something. She pulled his mask off! I never would have done something like this before. When I pulled Lord Jupiter's mask off, I saw a pair of very familiar eyes. Peter! No, I'm... You can't fool me anymore. You look exactly like him. Just tell the truth. You're Peter, aren't you? Well, Peter is Jupiter. He's like, I was. His mouth worked up, but no sounds came out. Don't make me kiss you. And he crowers, and you're like, yeah, no, that's Peter. Finally, he dropped his head as if giving up. This is kind of adorable. I love this moment. I'm so sorry I hid it from you. So I was right. Don't worry about it. But I shouldn't be talking to the god of gods so casually. It's really fine, almighty Lord Jupiter. So what can I do for you? Please, Cupid, don't talk to me like that. What? But Lord Jupiter... Just talk to me like normal. I don't like you being so formal. I want things between us to be like they were. He's like, I miss you. Taking me by the shoulders, he stared into my eyes. His own eyes were exactly like Peter's and Chi's, except for I don't think Chi had a blue eye, but they were those same anxious, unsure eyes I'd gotten to know so well. Okay, then I'll talk to you the way I always have. But I have some questions for you. Why did you follow me to the human realm? And what attacked us when we came back? It was the being you called Zeus, right? That's... He looks so pretty in his pensive Jupiter face with like the I love it without the mask on. He's hot with the mask on, but like this is also hot. So who's Zeus? I always thought Zeus was just another name for Jupiter. For you. No. Eventually people came to view Jupiter and Zeus as the same god, but that's never been true. Lord Jupiter gave a little shiver and then looked down and started to speak in a small voice. When Cronus tried to swallow me, he swallowed a stone instead. But that stone was Zeus, the all-powerful god that defeated him. He's my twin brother. Twin brother? Are you saying that there isn't one almighty god but two? You and this brother of yours? Basically, yes. Lots of myths treat us like the same god with different names, but the truth is, we're twins. They treat us the same! We're two different people! I never would have guessed that the almighty goddess Celestia had a twin brother, right? I didn't see that one coming. Oh, but I did remember Peter mentioning something about that. Something about how he wasn't good with women, unlike his brother. I mean, yeah, he kept saying that, but also he's got a lot of siblings, if you think about it, so... At the time, I still thought of him as Chi, so I just assumed divine beasts could have siblings or whatever. Zeus being Lord Jupiter's brother would never have occurred to me. Yeah, also. Like, you were like my brother! Okay, that's gonna play in somewhere, but not that Zeus/Jupiter, which usually is the same, but it's not in this case. I see what you did there, game. I like it. But why would your brother want to attack you like that? You're both gods, right? Because the DC worked together to seal him away. Seal him away? Yes, roughly 2,500 years ago, the 12 Olympians got together to discuss banning all gods from interacting directly with humans. Romulus and Remus, the brothers who founded Rome, were the last humans to bear the blood of the gods. With their birth, we wanted to let go of humankind, but one god was opposed to this. Zeus? Zeus, I assume? Yeah, exactly. He didn't like the idea of being stuck in Celestia. He kept interfering with humans and demanding their worship. Hey, sounds like a dick. But we knew that humanity could never change and improve if we kept doing things like that. We all hoped that a day would come when humans had no need for us gods. So we stood against him and, well, he got mad. His anger was truly fearsome. His lightning bolt struck down many gods. Even the DC suffered injuries. If we'd let things continue, there would have been no gods left but him. Which would have been fine with him. He believed that the only god the world needed was him. So we all worked together to seal him away. So how did he suddenly... It's probably thanks to Juno. She loved him deeply. So deeply that her jealousy of his mistress led her to terrible acts. The goddess of marriage, Juno, also known as Hera, it's true that I'd heard all kinds of myths about her jealousy. Even in Professor Giordano's classes, we covered a whole bunch of them. Zeus was so power-hungry at the time that Juno reluctantly agreed to seal him away, but I guess as time passed, she regretted her decision. It took her 2,400 fucking years. 2,480? It was 2,500 years ago, and she's only been trying to get him out for 20 years. I'm just saying. That is a long cooldown period. She was really fucking mad. But now I fear that Zeus has eliminated her. He eliminated her? I believe so. Her divine artifacts are still missing, but I can't sense her presence at all. I don't believe Juno will ever return. Which is good, because I wanted you to be the next Juno, and that's why I was down there with... Anyway. And all because I'm the most pathetic god imaginable. I'm a mere shadow of my brother. Stop that! Don't talk like that! I took his hand and smiled. Oh, don't talk like that. It was gentler. I've been watching you for a while now. I may just be Cupid, but I've seen what the god of all gods is really like. A fucking coward. He's a coward! But, it's going to be kind of wonderful when you're like, you're going to kick your brother's ass, even though you're a coward. And it's going to be marvelous. Lord Jupiter, you're dependable, thoughtful, and kind beyond measure. Okay, yeah, he is those things, but he's also very scared. But if I were more capable, he never would have revived. He's so powerful now that he can cast his shadow into the human realm. It's only a matter of time before he can manifest his physical body. So I've been strengthening Celestia's barrier recently. We should be safe here, but to be honest, I can't say what will happen. I can't predict what Zeus might do next. Especially to humans. Lord Jupiter shivered, then dropped down onto the ground. This was the true nature of the god of gods, the sensitive parasite. I was suddenly moved to learn as much about him as I could. I felt like I should already understand him, but I could tell I didn't understand this god at all. I sat down next to him and looked him in the eye. I thought about everything I'd seen, everything I'd heard. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be right here by your side. His eyes shimmered with uncertainty. He gently touched my arm as if seeking some small amount of affection. Lord Jupiter, thank the gods we found you! The instant the divine soldiers arrived, Lord Jupiter's face became hard and strict. And he pops his mask back on. He stood up, put his mask back on, straightened his back, and turned to the soldier. There was no sign of the Lord Jupiter that I'd come to recognize as the sensitive parasite. Yeah, he's good at putting on facades, isn't he? He's good at putting on a mask. Never mind. What's got you in such a panic? He spoke calmly and majestically, truly the god of gods. I'd seen him like that before, going down to the human realm. I'm very sorry, it's just that the marriage rate in the human realm keeps on dropping and... Lord Jupiter, pardon me, but this year's participation rates have been falling at an alarming rate. Oh, precipitation rates have been falling at an alarming rate, so... Lord Jupiter, the massive forest fire is still burning, I'm afraid. Wow, things are so hectic. One by one, Lord Jupiter was surrounded by divine soldiers. So Lord Jupiter is in charge of all those things? I thought Lady Juno was in charge of marriages, but I didn't want to interrupt, so I just took a step back. So, Lord Jupiter, I should probably head back to my room. Right. Please do. I'll come see you as soon as I'm finished here. And by the way, do not use your Cupid's bow. Wait for me, but don't get back to work. I understand. Perfect timing. Okay, because we're overtime. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here and we'll be, yeah. So anyway, we'll continue next time. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.